Thank you so much, our moderator. Hello, viewers. My name is Dickson Munene, Director in Sacco. The profile as read is who and what I am, but the profile has largely been edited from the original version.
Thank you. Good morning, leaders. I am Shehe Sharifu, the Vice Chair Imarika Sacco. Addition to what has been read, I'm also a Director CAK representing the Coast Region. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. All that was said, and there are others that were not said, but I am Charles Sigey. Karibuni.
Morning, viewers. Like has been introduced earlier, Isaiah Opere is my name. All the introductions given, all the titles you gave me are right of what is supposed to be. Apart from the same, I want to confirm that with this weight, Isaiah talking today, it is still the regional trainer, netball, Homa Bay, and the Western region, that is. So like when we finish and somebody wants to know much about netball, that is another area.
Thank you. Wow. So it means now, this CV, we could not have read it here. We could not have read all the CVs from whatever I had in my bios here. So but that tells you we have a lot we can do out of them. And what I ask the viewers and my participants who are listening to ask, I want to ask you that put in as many questions as possible. Let's make this very interactive. I'll guide the questions, but ensure that you can pick up something or a question you can be able to ask these panelists here. So now we can also get to also dive into deeper insights on what we'll be discussing here. But let's remember our theme. Our theme is very clear. We talk about innovation and impact. That is our theme. So we're not running away from that theme. That is the theme that will guide this discussion here. And we are looking at it, guiding us towards what we are calling SACCOs as the ultimate one-stop shop. So it means now the theme that we'll be discussing here and the questions which will be floating to my able panelists here are rounded through in the name innovation and impact. That is making these SACCOs or our SACCOs as the ultimate one-stop shop. Now, let me go straight into the first question. And please ensure that if you have any questions, we'll open up a session for you. Please ensure that you can write a question and float it into the panel. Now, I want to go to the first question. And my first question will go to Director Dickson. Director Dickson, we're talking about making SACCOs our ultimate one-stop shop. Now, from the perspective as a board member, and you've been serving for a number of years. So what does the vision of SACCOs becoming a one-stop shop mean to you? And in this case, practically, if we look at it from today's perspective, practically, what does it mean to you?
So thank you very much. Allow that I assist in unpacking the concept of one-stop shop. Literally, the concept of the one-stop shop is largely and heavily borrowed from the Huduma centers spread across this country, where the services and the products are under one roof. But practically, this concept should delve into creating institutions that meet majority of the members' needs. Traditionally, the SACCOs focused on savings and loans. But this concept of one-stop shop, away from that and away from the norm, should look far and beyond much more than savings and loans. So the one-stop shop practically should create an environment, and not largely the physical infrastructure, an environment where we go beyond savings and loans. We are looking at relational outfits relational organizations. Today's members or customers will look beyond savings and loans. We are looking at an organization that is able to meet the members' socio-economic needs that are so elaborate, that are so compounded. We are looking at an organization that in itself is an outfit that's a complex, that at one stop you are able to get services beyond the savings and loans. We should be emotionally connected to the members. We are looking at an organization that will offer financial engineering services. It will give financial consultancy. It may be able to offer insurance. It may be able to offer physiological and psychological needs of the present day member. And therefore, the concept of the one-stop shop calls for sheer and total paradigm shift. The way of thinking from the traditional outfit should change. And practically, that's what we mean by the concept of the one-stop shop.
Wow. We are learning something? Are we? Okay, thank you. Thank you for this one. I think you unpack this concept that we talk about, the one-stop shop. Not looking at the traditional ways of doing things and looking at how we can modernize the way we do our things in our SACCOs. Now, let me dive into the next question. And this I want to dive into the Shehe. And we know, and we have our CEOs present here, and our staff that we've left behind. And we know, majority of the operations are being done by our staff. In this case, now our directors now, they are making strategic decisions, making those strategic decisions. But now let me ask, Sharifu, you have experience, you've been serving in these boards, and in this case, I want to ask you, from your experience, how are the boards support innovation? And in this case now, supporting innovation without micromanaging the operational decisions.
Okay, thank you. Viewers, as boards, we have to stick to our key roles, which is governance, strategy, and oversight. If we stick to that by providing approval to policies, that is a governor and oversight thing. We also need to manage, we be able to manage, to look at, or not managing rather, but we be able to identify the key performance areas in our strategies which we have set. Because if it's in terms of innovation, if we set a strategic innovation direction, there are KPIs. So our role as board is to monitor the KPIs. That's the key performance indicators in that strategy. We also have the role of trying to look at and manage risk along the way. So we have to approve policies, which is our role as the boards. We need to set strategic directions. So in terms of innovation, as boards, we need to, at the first place, have goodwill. Because if we are to support the staff, we need to have goodwill as boards so that we can be able to allow the staff, and our role will be oversighting what has been put in place.
I hope you're learning something that strategically we're looking at what the board should do and what the staff should do. So now we separate the roles of the board from the roles of the staff. And that is what Sharifu is alluding to. Now, still moving in the same systematic area, we are looking at innovation and impact now. And then we have our Sacco governance framework. And we understand our Sacco governance framework. And I want now to pose these questions to the chance. Now, look at the current Sacco governance framework. In your own opinion, does it support or does it slow down the innovation? And why? Looking at that current governance framework that we have in our SACCOs. Does it support these innovations that we're talking about? How does it slow it down? And why? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It comes in both directions. It slows and also it facilitates the same to be fast. How does it slow down? It slows down because of fear of the unknown, where we are charting into some waters away from the tradition that we have known, bringing in like the core banking system, risk management and all that. Are we going to get it right? The board may want to do more of benchmarking, a lot of feasibility studies, checking here and there, that is it going to happen? What is the mitigative measures in case we don't get it right? As I said, the fear of the unknown. Also, the fact that we are elected for 3 years is something that curtails a process. Because, for example, if we are procuring a core banking system, it is not done overnight. It's a process that will take some time. But now changing after 3 years, another new team comes in, maybe they don't have the understanding of what was to go on, and a number of us, maybe they come with different ideas and questions. The process takes even longer and longer. The digital literacy amongst us, the board, of whom per se here, for example, we are teachers, we are not IT gurus. We need to understand in a small way. We want to learn to be ICT experts within that short span of time. And we want to understand how it goes. Because our role is to protect the members' funds. That one also will somehow slow the process. Also, we may think of a conflict of interest. Maybe others think so and so can do some provisioning in a better way. The others will do it better than the other. While we are discussing those things in the boardroom, the process is slowed down. However, the board also facilitates the fastness of the same because they make sure they bring in ICT experts who are qualified, who are very good, and also who could be trusted. And maybe we shall be forced also to do 1-2 from the pressure from our regulator, who currently nowadays they must audit matters data protection. They must audit our ICT configurations and all that. And by so doing, we are forced to do it somehow. So we are in a two-way. We can slow down, and at the same time, with the will, we can always do better than that. Thank you.
We can slow down, and we can still do better than that. Right? Now, I want to still on the same area that we're talking about. And we're looking at these boards. And Sharifu talked about, of course, the board being what they're supposed to be doing oversight role, and of course the staff doing the operation role. But I want to pose a question to one example. And in this case I'm asking, like, for example, all the boards are presented here. You have quite a number of board members in this house. But we need to ask ourselves again, how can we strengthen the oversight of these boards in areas that they may not fully understand technically? Because there will be some areas which may not be technically understanding how to go around it. But from experience, how do you think we can now be able now to improve on that so that we ensure that the areas which we are not good at as board members, now we can actually get some help with them? What is that?
Thank you. Members, allow me to address the said question. Seriously, there are a lot that are supposed to be done. But in the first place, I want to say as directors, we are not gurus in the line of technology. But there are how we board members can systematically build a stronger oversight over these complex technical domains. One, we can shift the focus to risk, resilience, and business metrics. We can equally embed independent external expertise. And third, though I'll come over to explain and clear the air, we can implement the reverse mentoring and target upskilling. What do I mean when I say this? When I talk of shifting the focus to risk resilience, here, what I mean here is that you can focus on impact metrics. That is, when you focus on impact metrics, you come over to replace technical metrics with business continuity metrics. You equally can come over to at least govern by threshold. Now, when I come to the second area where I talked of embedding independent external expertise, here, I mean, when you come over to that, you can ask the management to present risks in concrete terms, because really, as directors, we are not experts. So the management are the expertise in the given fields that they are. So you can ask them to come up and maybe present the risk in the concrete terms. Now, if, for example, let me bring an example here where you have your primary cloud provider goes down. You would ask, how long or what period of time can a member access money via mobile phones, and what is the normal backup practicals? Now, you can equally come over and govern via threshold to you set a clear financial and operational boundaries, where, for example, you interact with the management and advise or say that any data breach affecting more than a given number of members in your SACCO must be escalated in the board or to the board chair or the relevant authority within a given stipulated time. Now, when I come to the second, the third, where I talked of you implement the reverse mentoring and the target upskilling, what I meant here is that you establish internal technical mentors. That is within the board themselves here. You have mentors. What I mean here, somebody is an expert in a given area in terms of technology within the board, is able to mentor the other so that you all come on board and you drive on the same note. Now, you can equally come up to embrace what we refer to as micro-learning schemes. That is, within the board meetings, you can spare some time within your board meeting to at least have some kind of mentoring, and you get to understand how to go about the same. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you so much. So within the board, there are things we need to do within the board. If there are expertise within the board, what Bwana Isaiah is saying is that we need to harness on that. Like, let's ensure that that person who has the skills and the expertise, we can be able to use it within the board to ensure everybody understands those metrics of innovation that we can be able to learn from each other. Now, allow me to come back again to Bwana Dickson. In this case now, we are looking at 5 years, 10 years from now. And I know right now, most of our SACCOs right now, we are even reviewing our strategic plan, right? Are we? Participants in the house, are we reviewing our strategic plans? I know some of us are reviewing our strategic plans. And in this case now, we are looking at now the next 5 to 10 years, for example. Let me just pause about, or rather think about the next 5 to 10 years now. In this case now, Bwana Dickson, what innovations do you think will most transform our SACCOs? If you look at the next 5 years from now, what do you think are some of the innovations now which will transform our SACCOs?
So thank you so much. The industry is so dynamic. The industry is changing very, 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 very fast. And we are looking at the future SACCO. And I want to believe that the future SACCO will be highly digital. It will be highly data-driven and member-centric. You cannot shy away from that. You cannot move away from it. And therefore, looking into the future, several innovations will transform the future SACCO, the industry. And in the next 5 to 10 years, we are looking at such innovations that will transform the industry. And aligned to that, we can only mention what is going to come into play in the future as the industry changes. It's about such innovations. We are looking at the member services. We are looking at the credit scoring that has been very much traded. And you know, the AI, the artificial intelligence, will come strongly into play when we talk about member services, credit scoring, and whatever else relates to the member. And therefore, a future SACCO can never run away from AI. We are looking at a future SACCO that will largely use core banking systems that are cloud-based. We are looking at digital lending platforms so that we do not keep on complaining that we are getting competition from fintechs and what have you. We must also be equal to such kind of competition. We're also looking at biometric authentication so that we are able to move away from the traditional way of doing things. We're also looking at open banking because we know technology is changing very, very, very fast. We are looking at the APIs and what have you. So a SACCO that will not enhance its technology to accommodate such will become moribund. So such innovations will change the future SACCO. And we're also looking at products for the members that are quite personalized and products that are driven by member data. Because we need to understand how our members are, you see, what they want, their needs and what have you. And therefore, arising from that, we shall be able to make products that are personalized. And you know, all that one is enabled by technology. And that is the face of the future SACCO. Thank you.
Thank you. So what Dickson is saying, we cannot run away from? We cannot run away from what? Hey, participants, you know, I also want to confirm whether you are still alert. We cannot run away from what? Technology. Yeah, we cannot run away from technology. So we have to embrace technology. So even when you're looking at the next 5 years, the next 10 years, you cannot shy away from technology. Thank you, Dickson, for that. Now, still in line with that now, I want to pass this now, or pass the microphone now to Sharifu. Now, I know, Sharifu, your SACCO, you've participated in one or the other in steering your SACCO's digital transformation. I know you've participated in that exercise. Now, from your experience now, what would you share with us now? From your experience now, how has it been when you've been steering that digital transformation? And over and above that, what lessons can you share with all these participants who are here? Should they think about, or should they want to embrace that digital transformation in their SACCOs? What lessons do they need to learn from probably what worked and what didn't work that they would want to hear? Sharifu.
Okay, thank you. For all digital transformations, there are factors which have to be considered. One of the factors is the people, the human factor. And under the human factor, we can talk of are the people ready to embrace the technology in the first instance, right from the member, the board, and staff. And the processes involved is the second factor. The processes. What processes shall we be following when implementing the technological choice? And number 3 is the technology itself. What kind of technology do you want to employ in the organization? So that is my experience from that. But on the lessons which, on the side of the lessons now, as boards, we have to set clear digital strategic direction. That is one, very clear, so that we can be able to do the monitoring of the performance. That is one. Number 2, we need to know that digital transformation or technological transformation is a continuous journey. It's not a one-time project. That's why we hear in our SACCOs that we want to upgrade the system. That is what I can give. Again, as board, as alluded by my panelists, fellow panelists here, if we have experts in the board, we can form ICT committees, whereby the board also will be able to participate, not micromanaging, but they take part to provide a direction. Again, another lesson which we can draw from that is resistant to change. You know, resistant to change can be more challenging than the technology itself. So as directors, we need, let us leave the old boots. Let's wear the new boots, because we are in a technological changing space. We need to embrace that so that we be in tandem with the changing world. We also have cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is there, and it is increasing, in fact. If you look at the statistics, from September last year up to now, there were 100 million attacks, trials to attack the systems of our SACCOs. And we know that to avoid that one, because it's already there. So for us to be able to avoid that is to have system or deploy systems in our organizations which have strong firewalls, which have intruder detectors, or we encrypt the systems. If we do that, we shall be providing protection to the organizations. Also, what we can also do is to ensure we employ. You know, we cannot certainly say this person is faithful or trustworthy, but we do proper vetting when employing these ICT officers, and do very good, thorough background checks. We can also use what we call multi-factor authentication, which will avoid the unauthorized logs in the system. That one can also assist us in ensuring that we are embracing technology, and we also, on the other hand, taking note of the risk. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Participants, are you learning something? So you're talking about one, looking at the networks. Already Bwana Isaiah talked about that. And he talked about we might have even expertise within our own boards. And we even think about coming up with those or setting up those subcommittees, ICT subcommittees. Do we have them? Yeah? So if we don't have them, don't worry about it. That's why we are here. And he also talked about the fact that now we need to leave behind the old boots, and we wear the what? We leave behind the old boots and we wear the new boots. So we cannot continue resisting to this. Thank you so much, Director, for that. Now, I'm still borrowing from that now. And I want now to dive now again, now to Charles, Bwana Charles. Now, we are looking at, again, this issue of innovation and technology. But again, there are quite a number of barriers that prevents our SACCOs here from now fully embracing this technology. And technology which is geared towards service delivery. Probably from your own experience, what are some of these barriers now that probably could prevent our SACCOs now from fully embracing this technology from your experience?
Thank you very much. Before I respond, may I join my colleague who has actually mentioned about AI the chatbots and the rest, that if we are not even ready for them, we shall have even the internet, we even cannot have, let alone even the mobile, the masks and all that. Even communication through the mobile phone is a problem. That is one of the barriers that I see as becoming a hindrance to the development of achieving innovation, the new innovations and the trends in every other time. My colleague has also mentioned on resistance. You find that even within us here, maybe when we are introducing our new systems and all that, there are those of us who are resisting change because of fear of the unknown, as I mentioned earlier on. And that is a barrier which will bring in push and pull all over the time. And also maybe not having the right staff, the ICT staff. Remember, they are all over. There are so many. They are in thousands in this Republic of Kenya. But where is that ICT staff, the techno-savvy guy who is trustworthy? I think the baseline is trust. The biggest issue with us is trust. So that you sleep as a board member when you don't have someone whom you trust. You are wondering what will happen the next morning. Is the money safe? Is the system like having a downtime? So yes, the ICT gurus are all over, but also they are dangerous, and we are very skeptical at times to like trust them 100%. And the biggest issue now also is the cost of acquiring a core banking system that will onboard like the audit trail, it will onboard the data protection, the AML, that is anti-money laundering and all that. Remember acquiring a new system. It happened, we have just done it in my Sacco the other day. And it is not an easy task. We lost weight over the same, especially apart from acquiring now, there is the issue of migration. Making sure that you are migrating the right data, making sure you are migrating clean data away from the files and then all those that have gathered the dust in the archives. And it brings a lot of fear. And it is not an easy task. And it is not anything sweet when we are moving. So it is also very costly. It is in millions to have a core banking system. Away from that, also the implementation. Those are some of the barriers that I think are curtailing the fast movement into the innovative areas that we really feel we want. And then there are those members who are just traditional members of that circle, and of whom most of them are our ages and above 30, 40. They are not the youth. And they are always trusting over the counter. Whether you have all sorts of technologies, unipe, usinipe, I don't want to know. I just want to come over the counter. I want to do business by looking at the face of the teller. That is where the whole problem is. So those are some of the barriers. While we are talking to them and encouraging them that we are moving to the next level, Musikuje Sacco for 2,000 shillings, for 3,000. You can get it from your mobile phone. And as I'm nataka kuona David, and who is serving me always, and I know that. Thank you very much.
Wow. So there are still our members who believe in seeing the person who is helping him or her withdraw the money. So the issue here is, I can summarize that as FT. Fear, trust. Fear and trust. And these now we need also to teach our members, train our members, sensitize to them that they can equally get those services from where? The technologies which we have. And now in this case now, this drives me now to Bwana Isaiah. And in this case, we already know our cooperative identity and what our cooperatives should stand for. But we are looking in a world where we want to also grow some partnerships. We want to build partnerships. But now we see, we also have to be very careful with these partnerships. We want to partner with fintechs, we want to partner with banks, we want to partner with other stakeholders. Then probably from your experience, how can we partner with all these other organizations, all these key players out there, without our SACCOs losing their cooperative identity? Bwana Isaiah.
Thank you so much. This is an area that really, as SACCOs, we need to be very careful. Because like when integration is being done, it will include 2 or 3 parties. And everybody is out to gain. And if somebody is not very keen, like if you're not, then you may end up getting integrated, but your identity is lost. If you look at maybe a number of services that we get outside here, you may find somebody transacting business with a given financial institution, but wants to maybe pass that through, like, let me give an example, M-Pesa. You would realize maybe the bank from which the money is drawn loses identity, but at the end of the day, when you get the information, the SMS you will get will be coming from M-Pesa, meaning there is a bank silent somewhere doing business with them, but the identity is not lost. So like in our case, I want to summarize this in 4 categories, where we can get integrated, yes, but we protect our fundamental values and our identity. 1, this can be done by adopting what we refer to as a white label technology architecture. 2, and when I say that, put a mark, I'll come over and explain that. We can safeguard strict data ownership and digital sovereignty. And that is exactly where I'm coming to. Because that is where, if you don't protect, then your identity is lost. Especially when it comes to matters data ownership and digital sovereignty. So like I said, put a mark and I'll come, because that is where the core business is going to be, where as you integrate, you remain whom you are. 3rd, you can adopt what we come over and say, leverage sector-wide shared services and Apex networks. Then the last, but not the least, is you digitally preserve the social guarantor model. Now let me begin with the last. What do I mean when I say you digitally preserve the social guarantor model? Now, the peer-to-peer social accountability framework is the defining mechanism that distinguishes Sacco credit from cold transitional commercial bank lending. That is where the difference comes in. Because it's a lending, yes, but now what stipulates, what brings in the difference that, all right, I was doing business with Sacco, and I'm doing business with a commercial, banking institution. Now, if I drive you back to the first point that I said, because I've explained the last one, I talked of adopting white label technology architecture. Now, in this case, when partnership with any fintech setups, a Sacco should never permit a vendor to push a member into external or in a situation we refer to as co-branded, where he dilutes the cooperative identity. This can be done when you enforce what I refer to as white label deployments, or you own the main member touch point. When I talked of safeguarding strict data ownership and digital sovereignty, in this case, a Sacco member data registry is its most vulnerable asset and the bedrock of its continuity. Now, if it is ever exposed, then you are in for the worst, because at the end of it all, once exposed, anything can happen. So to do this, you need to maintain ledger isolation. You mandate regulatory, what we refer to as regulatory sandboarding. And last, you prohibit data monetization. Now, when I talk of the last, where I said there were 4, I told you about leverage, sector-wide shared services, and apex networks. Now, individual institutions risk being swallowed up or financially denied when renegotiating one-on-one with massive commercial banks. So when you are doing that, you must make sure that you utilize shared services in structure. And last, you have to achieve collective bargaining power so that as you bargain with whoever you want to integrate with, you have the power to at least cover your identity by dictating what you require, not what somebody you are integrating with or a network you are integrating with dictates. So it all remains you to cover yourself during that kind of negotiation. Thank you.
So you've mentioned we want or we need power? Yes, he has mentioned tunataka nini? Power. We want power to maintain our cooperative what? Identity. Now, I would want now to just one round of a similar question, which I would want to pass a random one now. So I open this session to the participants who are listening to us, and they've been listening to us for quite some while. And I'm so sure they might have some questions they want to float to the panel here. Now, what is that one key message that you would want to pass to these board members on matters technology? A message you would want to pass to the board members who are here, the management, the staff who are back there in our SACCOs. One key message about innovation. One key, one, only one. Just a message about innovation. Bwana Dickson.
Thank you so much, our moderator. Hello, viewers, we want to share this one with you. Wanaluga usema kwamba lisilobudi hubidi. And my colleague here has mentioned about resistance. And I want to pass across one message to the board members who could be out there watching us and listening to us. That boards must be very deliberate and they must lead by example. Factors of innovation or issues of innovation must be embedded in every strategy that we make in our organizations, in every other budget that we make in our organizations, in our every performance evaluation systems. It must be innovation, innovation, innovation all through, because we cannot run away from it. And if you allow me, innovations and the future of this industry is coming with a lot of force, such that in my profile it was read that I'm a sports person. Yes, and a seasoned one. And I can tell you for sure what is coming up. In the next decade, sports will not be manned by physical personnel. It will be technology. The athletes are there on the track, and it is technology guiding them and rating them and concluding everything. And that is where we are. And therefore, I want to implore the directors who are out there and listening to us that we must remain deliberate. We must factor innovations in everything that we do. Thank you.
Wow. Listening from Sharif, one key message to the boards, the staff, and the management.
Okay, thank you. Mine is let the boards allocate enough resources during budgeting in terms for the purposes of innovation, and also continuous capacity building for the board and the staff. And again, let all innovation strategies speak the vision and live the mission. Thank you. Of your organization.
Speak the what? The vision. Communicate the what? What a good wrap it up. Let's listen in from Bwana Charles. Key message.
The key message here is if you want to collapse ignore technology.
You can repeat it again. They're writing, they're typing, they want to tweet.
If you want to collapse at the end of the day, because members will move away to where services are done right there and then. If you want to collapse, ignore technology, ignore innovation. Your members don't care and they don't want to know the servers that you bought or any type of computer and all that. What they want to know is, am I getting my school fee loan in the next 20 minutes? How they get it, they don't care. They don't mind about what you have. Give your members the real-time service by imploring technology. Did you know that our youth are mentally away? Yes, they are with us, they are our members. Watakuajia shares peke yake, but they can go elsewhere to get the loans. They are mentally away from you. Yes, they can be our members, but in their upstairs and their minds, they are away. They have gone away because they are going to where they can easily get the money that they want on Friday, instantly. Remember also, it is important that you employ technology so that you are not aged out. Otherwise, utakuwa kama gari ya zamani. You remember the Master ya zamani, Mercedes ya zamani, Bedford ya zamani. If you are riding on the same ile ya kutoa moshi kubwa kwa mlima, utawekwa kando ya barabara, watu wanasonga. Let us embrace innovation and technology. Thank you.
Tusikue gari ile ya kitambo ambayo inatoa moshi kwa mlima. Aha. Bwana Isaiah, one key message to the boards, to the Sacco management, and to the staff. One key message.
Thank you. One message, I want to make it be one, that for the success of all our institutions, embrace the digital world.
Embrace the digital world. Now, our viewers, our listeners, you've listened from us. We would want also to extend these now to you, to also hear from you. Do you have any questions for my panelists? Have I done a good job? It's one thing seated here, and please, you'd rather be told. Sitting here is not easy, eh? Unajua ni vitu waambie ukweli, eh? Hapa mbele ni kumoto hapa mbele. Si hata nyinyi mnaona? Thank you. So do you have a question for us? By a show of a hand, do we have a question? Yeah, that is one. Nahitaji kuona mikono juu. So we have one question there. Another question there, another question here. Thank you. Another question where? On the other side, kuna swali pande ile nyingine. So okay, so you can direct the question. If you have a specific person you'd want to answer or have him answer the question, then you can direct a question. If it's open, then it can be answered by anyone. So if you are directing, so you can direct to the panelist who is here. If it's an open question, please clarify it's an open that anyone can respond to. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Getudu John, Tower Sacco. Mine is comment, and I have two issues. One, on governorship. We are there to read. And many times, we stop being readers and we leave that work to the staff. So in an organization, there is the governor and the people who are working for them. Mine is very simple. We are given a role to pray. We are not there to micromanage, but we should have keen eye on the same. Giving an example of a certain organization, I used to hear board members saying that it takes them only 30 minutes to finish their meetings. It was wonderful. But at what time is that keen eye will be there? The CEO has prepared everything, and he passes on whatever he has in his mind. And then he calls that person of money, and you are given a bahasha. Then you go. Do you really, that time, understand your organization? So, we are leaders. Keen eyes on whatever is there, though we don't micromanage. That was one. So, you are very important when you are trying to know what exactly is going on in your organization. Number two, on the governor side. I remember in our organization, we went for a new system. And now, the regulator was quarreling with us. By then, I was a chairman. And we were called together with the staff to the Sorcerer's Place. So, they were moved away from us. And now we were to answer questions concerning the technology or the system we are bringing in. Do you think we just kept mum? So we should acquire the risk knowledge on every field. We were able to fight it without them. Number two, there is the issue of technology. I remember year 2000, we were being asked, before 2000, are you compliant? Are you compliant? Okay, that one came and went. Today we are talking about AI. We should not be worried so much about it. It will come and go and something else. What matters is what you have in yourself. Ours is to lead the people and also manage the resources. So, if we do that, we shall always be successful. If not, then the other things will create a lot of fear in ourselves. And lastly, you remember our Cusco. How did it die? Relationship between the staff and the leaders. How did it die? Delegates are going. They are told, this thing, we shall discuss it in that other forum. When you go to that other forum, you are told it was discussed in that other forum, and this is how now it died. Are ours to go to die that way? That is the major question I ask.
Oh, okay, so I believe quite a number were some good insights which you shared. I don't know whether there is any panelist here in 1 minute, but again, for those who will be asking questions, kindly let's stick to the questions, so now we also get to ensure that we are not running behind time. So for those who are asking questions, please, just one question is enough, if possible, so now we can allow our panelists to respond. So in 1 minute.
Thank you so much. A quick rejoinder. Thank you for the sentiments, Director John. We are happy. But we want to view the relationship between the leaders and the members of staff as so symbiotic. It is unity of purpose. It is support for one another. And we want to affirm here that delegation is not absconding. In as much as you delegate to the staff, you cannot abscond your duty. You see, the leaders are there to create a vision, and the staff members are there to execute that vision. And for the leaders, we also want to let them know that it is eyes on the ball all through. If you allow any gaps, then your future is doomed. And therefore, we want to beseech the leaders, kindly, once you create the vision and you leave the members of staff to execute, kindly, there must be reward for any creativity. You must you must reward, you must support professional development. You must also give space for what we call ideas incubation. And the support from the leaders should not be so extreme such that it does not become support, it becomes now intimidation. And thank you for your last sentiment that there should be no fear. Reverend has been reminding us about fear. You see, innovation cannot flourish in an environment of fear. Let the members of staff free so that they are able now to create, to innovate, to bring ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. So there's a difference between fear and respect. So let this staff not fear you, but respect you. Is that okay? So then another question, I think I saw a question from CEO here. So we have a microphone there, or I pass this one. So the CEO is here. Hapa tu meza ya pili. Yes.
As the microphone is being brought, which was far away, or imefika, do you know the acronym for fear? Fear is false evidence. False, uongo. False evidence appearing to be real.
Repeat
Fear.
for them again.
Fear is false evidence appearing real.
False
So unaogopa
evidence
kitu ambayo haiko
appearing real.
Yes.
False evidence appearing
real.
real.
Yeah.
Tweet that, post that.
Another second. I also wanted to add two other meanings for the acronym FEAR. Face everything and rise. That's the first meaning. Face everything and rise. The second meaning, forget everything and run. The choice is yours.
Thank you so much, and I want to appreciate all our ladies. And my question goes to Director Munene, and I want to appreciate the unpacking the concepts. And we realize there's a lot we can do as SACCOs to make our institutions one stop shop. And we realize we should go beyond savings and credit and make our institutions offer social and economic empowerment, which are diverse. But now my question is, where does this one leave us in terms of regulations? Where we've got prohibited business. On our side, we know there's a lot we can do. But here comes regulations and the prohibitions. And I want to link this with what we got from the Tamarako yesterday. That we should start and regulations to follow us. Can we make a divine line? Thank you.
Thank you so much, CEO Cosmo. Good concern. We unpacked the one-stop shop. And I know the regulations are quite inhibitive when it comes to some suggested innovations. But what we want to believe is the same mind that is behind the AI, the innovations that we are experiencing in the whole world, is the same mind that will be in the concept of the one-stop shop, the future of the SACCOs in this dynamic industry. And therefore, I want to believe that there are so many opportunities for the SACCOs under this concept. And that does not mean that we move away from the core. That does not mean that we move away from the norm, because the regulations will still come to control us or limit us by doing that. But under what we are able to operate within that concept, we can still synthesize much more. And therefore, this is human brain. If a human brain can make a computer that works more than the brain that made it, then it means in the innovations in the future, the same brain will be able to circumvent innovations under those regulations. My take though. Thank you.
So what we are wrapping up is there will be adequate stakeholder involvement. So all the stakeholders will be involved in coming up with those regulations.
When you talk of social guarantor model, now I told you that there is a social accountability framework we refer to as peer-to-peer. Now it is within this framework that defines the mechanism that distinguishes It's a mechanism that now brings the difference between the SACCO credits from the commercial banking lending. It is a model that defines the difference between what maybe you as a SACCO is doing and what a commercial bank is doing. We refer to that as peer-to-peer social accountability.
So we know in our SACCOs we talk about guarantors, right? But in the banks, do we still talk about individual granting? So look at it, there's a difference between how the SACCOs work and how the banking or the commercial banks work in matters guarantorship, and that is what Bwana Isaiah has expounded to. Another question? Okay, so thank you so much. That brings us the end of our panel discussion, so I hope it has been insightful. Sorry, you have a challenge. So my panelists wants to pose a challenge to the participants.
Thank you so much, our moderator, to our viewers outside there, and the leaders who are listening to us. From this end, kindly allow that I personally pose a soft challenge to us. Many a time, we go out of our way for exchange programs for benchmarking. I don't know how many times what we learn out there is brought and applied in our SACCOs. And I want to give a live example. You see, technology is moving very fast, and technology is driving innovations. In 2010, I attended the work conference in Nevada, Las Vegas. And that is the first time I heard of Twitter. I had not heard about it before. That is also the time when I learned about Blu-ray technology. I had not heard about it. Coming back to Kenya, it took Kenyans almost a decade to appreciate Twitter and Blu-ray technology. Elsewhere, it was mentioned about speed. That is yesterday. Somebody talked about speed. What is the turnaround time? We are talking of technology innovations. How soon or how fast are we able, as SACCOs and leaders, leading the organizations, to appreciate technology, to embrace innovations? So it's about speed, it's about turnaround time, because the moment you do not appreciate a certain innovation, some certain technology, by the time you appreciate it, it will have evolved to something else. So my parting shot, kindly, let us apply what we learn outside there. Let us move with speed so that we can save our organizations, salvage them, make them a one-stop shop. Thank you.
Parting shot, yes.
Okay, thank you to all the viewers. Let's trust what is done by the staff we employ, but always let us verify. Thank you.
Thank you. We verify and we trust what they are doing.
It is about time to embrace technology, innovation, while trading cautiously on the same, open minds, and more information. Like this meeting has opened up a lot of Kenya teachers SACCOs. That is why we are leading. Thank you, Chairman, and whoever who started this. We are now leading in the Republic of Kenya as teacher SACCOs because of such meetings that we come together, and we shall always move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Isaiah.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you for listening to what we were discussing over here, and I want to humbly request that as we meet in such forums, allow us to really take what we are getting over here seriously, because like coming over here and exchanging ideas is like benchmarking. Let's get back to our institutions and implement all that we get around this place. I want to thank even the organizers for bringing on board the CEOs with us when we have such a meetings, because like I said in my opening remarks, we are not experts in given areas, but when we're with them, when we go back home, please, CEOs that are here, help us implement all that news that we get in such gatherings. God bless you.
Wow, that's a good parting shot. So what about the viewers? Give a round of applause to my panelists. So let's give them a round of applause. Have they done a good job? Are you okay? Have they met your expectations?